How's it going, everybody? It's Krusty Old Crow, and this is an alternative perspective number 33. Today, we're not going to be covering a Marvel Legends series or a ramen toy or a G.I. Joe classified or anything like that. It's time to address something that I don't often talk about, which is my Jada Street Fighter 2 collection. And yes, I in fact do collect that line, but I collect it more specifically than how I collect other lines like Marvel or Monster Force or Valverse, right? I'll snipe figures from there. Jada, there's a pattern I look at, and that's what I'm trying to get with this collection. So, guys, today I'm going to bring you three Jada figures I picked up today. I'm going to give you a Vega. I'm going to give you the final challenger set for Bison. I'm going to give you the final challenger set for Dhalsim. I'm going to show you what they all come with, what I like about them, possibly what I dislike about them, and I'll, incorporate them into the usual editing and photography and videos just to make it fun. But just to let you guys know, yes, I do have a strong interest in Jada. The problem is they're almost too good. What needs to be said about Jada was said a long time ago. These are incredible figs. I really enjoy the production quality of them, what they include for my dollar. I love the price point they sit at and just everything about them. But I did not grow up a big fan of the video game. I played the video game for the first few iterations while I was a youth, but I outgrew it after a while. So what I have to say about these figures is all about the figures and limited to what I remember from the video games and that. And you'll see that in this review. Hey, don't forget, if you guys like the alternative perspective or the tactical perspective toy reviews or any of my custom stuff that I do for sets and all that stuff, please feel free to hit that like, share, subscribe. It really helps this channel out. And I also really appreciate the comments that come in that provoke discussion. It's engaging to me as this is my retirement. My retirement is just playing with toys. What a beautiful thing. Anyways, guys, let's go play with these new Jada Street Fighters. One of the things I really like about Jada and how they present these figures is the boxes. They present them as arcade games. They've got the very familiar backgrounds that we are used to with these characters. Each of them individual, each of them costing just a little bit of the money because, they can't be reused unless it's for the same character that played the same levels, right? So I really like that nod because what you get is your ability to display them conveniently. If you're not a big display guy, throw him in front of his box. That is a display right there. And I like that they did this. I also really, really like how Jada builds an action figure. They do it right with this game. Now, I don't buy any other Jada products right now, but I am looking for the Scooby-Doo line to go with my ramen van. But this to me is promise for anything that they do. You have the double jointed pinless knees and elbows. You have like an ankle rotator here because it works with his leg. But not on every figure gets it on the right ankle. Some get it on the upper calf. He gets it on the thigh as well. The colors are brilliant. All of the patterns, unique shoes, his slip-on attacking loafers, as you were, his fighting trousers are purple and yellow. He's got this sash that has wire in it, so you can achieve a lot of dynamic posing with it. He's not afraid to be a man's man or a lady's man. He's the Lando Calrissian's man of Street Fighter. He's so confident in himself. He's got a big old pink snake coming out of his trousers and across his chest. And, that's the confidence of a guy who can fight the way that Vega can. And you can achieve a lot of the poses, with these fantastic butterfly joint placements. The pivot in the waist and in the torso up here, the crunch going on. Two different head features. I'll show you this one with the mask that is attached. You can see he's got earrings, he's got the band on there. You can see his eyes passing, like peeking through, just like in the cartoon. He's got the little pink swirl on his mask of the snake bite, right? Just a lot going on with this kind of a figure. And I show it to you with the clawed hands because they even gave him the manicured fingers that, were very much a part of his attacks. He was scratching people even without claws. You can tell that He's a pretty boy, so he probably gets his nails did real good. And they show up on the other hand, which boasts the I have it on with the other claw. He gets two claws, one that's attached to his fist hand for your ease of doing things, and one that you can put on or off the other hand. And again, you can see these nails are very sharpened, right? The C clamp is gripping that claw on perfectly. And as a Wolverine purchaser from the Marvel Legends line, I just want to bask in the straightness of these claws. I also want to show you how the slash feature that is included works, right? No, nothing needed for another stand independent of this. It is so simple, a very light little piece that you slide in just into the tips of the claws. They go in there and like such. It's just like that. And you can see how they're seated inside a little bit there, right? I think these are brilliant little ads, and putting him on a a third party flight stand had to be done with a character like this because he's so agile. And I wish it wouldn't have bumped them up a price point to give him such a flight stand so that he can get some high attacks coming off a fence like he's known for and things like that. But it's okay. What they did give us here was great. They also gave us an additional punching hand for his ungloved hand, right? So you can do a lot with the fighting with him. And they gave you a second head feature, which is the unmasked pretty boy there, unpleased, ready to fight Chun Li in her apartment. Cringy dude. Waited till she was out of the shower, and then you've got that mask, that gummy mask. Very, very pliable. A little bit of missing paint app on the inside because they are assuming it's constantly going to be in some on or taken off format. But this pliability allows it to be used in this clawed hand and things like this. So again, that posing, that play, and getting the character perfectly right. I should show you that the ponytail is hinged kind of like Cammy, right? No problems there. Just a lot of great things going on with this character. Very pleased I got him. He's my second favorite of the three. So let's move on to the next of the three. I think I've shown all the pieces of kit and the function with Vega. Let's go have a look at Dhalsim, my first favorite of the three. Yeah, it's true. Dhalsim was always one of my favorite characters from the first wave. I really respected what they did with this character, be it giving him, the gauntlets that go across his wrist are free floating, the no, sorry, wire limbs to show his extension yoga poses as they pop them off. All great play features, and they gave you a lot in that original at the normal figure price point of it. I think it was between 29 and 34.99 Canadian at the time. For articulation, nothing has changed, only the design, and they've only gone stronger here. We've got those butterfly joints that look great on a nice strong back with no back post, unnecessary. It's not part of their thing, so why would you have it? Love that. They kept what worked. They kept the bracelets that free float, the earrings that free float, but they've given you new head features, and this is what the final challengers they really got it going on at 44.99 Canadian. It's inexplicably good for the features they give you. They give you all the head features you have the last time, plus they give you some more, plus they give you the ones that fit with your older figures, right? So you can keep your figures upgraded just by picking up the final challenger and getting your different player version of your guy. And now they start upgrading your old guys. I think that's great value for your dollar. Yes, this is a bag full of Dhalsim kit. Two characters, one bag, lots of limbs, four limbs each to replace, to do all that stuff with. Multiple heads to keep each other going there with the facial expressions. And then, of course, we've got the blast effect. So we've got the yoga fire and then we've got the projected fire. What that all amounts to is his yoga fire is a mouth inserted horn of death, just like in the video game. And it was absent the first time they brought the figure in, and it was noticeably absent. To have it back as a correction just shows Jada was on top of it, going, yes, we just needed a little bit more money to include all the things that Alzum was really known for. And of course, that has to include the flaming cadaver of his opponent, right? We get a little back hole in him just above the where you don't want it to be, and that inserts into this great base that they include. Now they include bases for his for this to keep this balance, but you don't get to pose this, so you can either have him up on the base, or you can just lay them on the ground. But I saw cross compatibility with so many different lines like Marvel Legends and GI Joe Classified, Torch's Revenge and things like this. But there's no gore, there's no skeletal details or anything that would turn a parent off and say that's a human being suffering, right? This is very much a video game nod to what these characters did to each other in combat on your screen from the day. So I really respected them throwing this all in at that price point on top of Dhalsim's other features and upgrades to his old figure, right? This made him my favorite in the bunch because of what they did, because it was all improvement all across the board. So that brings us to final challenger Bison. I think Raul Julia would shed a small tear for the reoccurring issue I have with Bison. Great character, I'm sure. I love everything that this guy was trying to do. But the shoulder pauldron system that Jada is using for this character, Bison, did not improve with the final challenger set. Here's the issue I had with Bison the first time. The shoulder pauldron system is meant to be replaced so you can take his cape on and off as he fights people and does things, right? So you had your choice of having this very great, I should use a new one as example, great new cape as a play feature, right? But they were connected to these little gold lugs. I call them lugs, right? Connected to them in a way that when you're manipulating it you're putting pressure on a very small mushroom, and I'm going to show that mushroom from the underside, just like this right there. And what's happened is my cape keeps lifting off this when I'm trying to manipulate the shoulder pauldrons on or off. The slightest tug I find compromises and stretches that hole. And so yet again, I have a Bison with a cape I need to correct, right? So it takes a little bit of working some finer tools like a needle, like just to try and push it under there, or a blunt side of the needle, things like that. And I'm just not going to do it there because I feel like there's use in seeing it here. It was corrected for many of the photographs. Overall, however, this Bison is still how I felt about the original. It's a really cool boss fig from a really cool boss in the fight. I'm not the biggest fan of the green and orange color set. I'm really not. But in the spirit of Halloween, why not? This is my Halloween Bison, I guess. Again, same points of articulation as others, except he doesn't get a calf rotator because of the armor plating on the boot. It's all in the upper thigh. His calves are stationary, and his ankle rocker is up and down and not very well to the other sides, again, because of the armor style of his boots. All other points of articulation are comparable to any other Jada figure. Again, no back peg because there's no need for one. Butterfly joints, double pinless knees and elbows, right? It's all good to go. I should also mention their necks are more like classified as than what Legends would be, in that it's a 2-point hinge system, the ball joint at the axis and atlas, and then another one between the clavicle or collarbones there, right? So good head articulation on all these figures. What I really like about this figure is this cape won't be a problem as I take advantage of the blast effect that they include. They have a cage system blast effect, which incredibly actually is easier to manipulate than you would think. And it is multiple pieces. You have your forward piece, which will be the last piece I put on, and you have your skirt piece, which is over the majority of the figure, right? And it has a single post hidden away that you can close it up after you get your guy in, because you've also got to slip this flight stand in there. So you've got a flight stand. Oh, I got to manipulate this right through there, put that through there, and pay attention to which direction you put it in, because you want the Y gap for his torso, not his hips, right? And then you just kind of place the guy inside and cage him up. And then this goes towards the front. And I'll show you that in the shots. I thought that was brilliant. I really did. And now I can hide this cape that I don't feel like fixing right now. So solutions abound, even though it did really upset me to see that cape. Of course, he comes with the other blast features that he had in his original iteration. This time he comes with a blue version of his fist punching dramatic effect where it was purple before. You know, he's coming at you with a set of orange shoulder pauldrons to replace the ones that you want to take off. He's got thumb hands, he's got clutchy hands, and multiple facial expressions, which I could go through for miles. But another thing that they do really well is if they bring you ahead, they gave us again the version that goes with it for the red variant, right? So just a bag full of pieces that you get with this. It's incredible how much you actually get with this set. So Cape aside, still really like M.Bison, but he was my least favorite of the three figures, even though he was the most engineered, and that engineering really paid off as I saw it. So guys, that's all I'm gonna do for a review on Jada. I almost forgot to show you his blue burning duty doo. Right, that sits up on its own independent stand. So he's coming at you with two stands, one for him, one for this guy, because he hits him flying in the air. But there you go. Same as with the red one. Nice pairings, right? But yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thanks for sharing this time with me as I kind of just show you ad hoc my Jada collection and what I've upgraded it with today. The funny thing was, guys, if you supported the the Punkathon that happened over the weekend in the YouTube community, where we raised money for Toys for Tots, it was great. We did great. I know we met those goals that Punk had set out for it, but I had accidentally won a Vega, and it was going to be coming to me from all the way down in Phoenix, Arizona, and my pre-order came in the very next day. So I was glad that I was able to stop that. My camera is rocking right now because I've got the whole apparatus set on a box, and my cat has decided to climb into the box. So, guys, I'm going to call it. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time on an alternative perspective. Take care.